All right. All right, so we'll get started. I don't see Justin here, but we got Dan, so.
I can get Justin in.
Hey, yeah, Justin said he wasn't gonna be able to make it today. He has a
Really?
conflict.
Okay.
Yeah, we synced up a little before, so I should be able to answer on his behalf today, hopefully.
So on the agenda, the first item here, the testing items, we have Tuesday and Rush to go through the list of open items with the dev team. Uh, Thoughts on last week of testnet? Dan, your update here, not seeing information included in the testnet bugs channel. In fact, not seeing most of the bug template info. Maybe this can be pinned to the channel somehow.
Yeah, it looks like that testnet bugs channel has drifted a little bit from the like formatted bug reports we were getting at the beginning. People are kind of just going back and forth on issues in there, and even before that, people were reporting bugs, but they weren't really like including the timestamp info or like their system info that we were getting at the beginning. So I don't know if that can be displayed more prominently so people will put those in there. We can parse them a little more easily, or if there's another solution you guys want to
Yeah,
pursue. But yeah,
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 Tuesdays
maybe
and I
maybe
were.
redoing or reposting the format and just continually reminding people. I can try to do that more. It's kind of been a hectic week.
yeah, I figured that's probably all it'll take. So that's fine. But yeah, I just wanted to mention that. Otherwise, things seemed good. We've gotten a lot of feedback and continue to get it. So it's
I
good.
haven't done any feedback because my kit is scheduled to arrive on the 16th. By the way.
Oh wow, the 16th. That's still a while from now.
Yeah,
That's weird. Is that normal?
dude. I don't know. No, not really. VJ just told me that it's something with USPS. I don't know.
Oh,
I
strange.
really didn't want to get too much into it. I was just like, okay, sorry.
Okay.
'Cause I know he's got like.
Next item on the list is a testnet mining delivery timeline estimate from product. Dan, you wrote no mitigation possible for mining issues. Need to modify objectives to handle some other way. Miscellaneous fixes with mining disabled going into the app today suggest we decide next steps during the meeting. I propose copy to replace the two native phone on objectives with new ones.
Yeah, so that pretty much says it all. We investigated that mining issue, memory issue on the cards pretty deeply. Nate and Douglas both took a look at it, and yeah, we found that there's an issue whereby if you create both backed phonons and native phonons on a card, there is a non-zero chance that when you run a mining attempt iteration on the card, it will cause an out-of-memory issue that essentially bricks the ability of the card to do anything with a phonon. So we've not been able to find any way to prevent that. I mean, the closest we could get is telling people only use one card for mining and only use one card for backed phonons, but that seems like a hard message to get across and leaves people at risk of bricking their cards that they just purchased. So my thought was we would um, shelf that feature for now. We're still going to put it in later once we can improve the card software, but my thought was to just replace those two objectives that were there for native phonons on the testnet rewards with two alternate ones. I don't know how everyone feels about that. I know that's kind of like a switch out. It'll require people to go back who maybe have already accomplished the rest of the objectives, but I mean, it kind of seems like the same thing to me since we haven't actually released the mining features for the final two objectives to be possible for most users anyway. Um, so yeah, curious to hear your all's thoughts on that.
I am not against it. If you want just an opinion, I'm not against it. I think that since it was not really the purpose of the alpha test, it's okay. But that doesn't mean I'm not going to try to find something to help you.
Yeah, I'm all about giving new tasks to keep people active.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I mean, I think these two are, things that people are kind of doing anyway. I'm not sure about the first one, but they'll at least provide some additional feedback for us and, provide some objectives that the people who bought kits can actually perform.
Was it the slots, maybe? I mean, no, actually, I had this conversation with Nate. Don't worry about it.
Can you scroll up real quick, Clamato, on the agenda?
Yep.
That first thing, a little bit higher actually. Can the DAO helper adjust to support it more? Did we address that at all?
That's
Item
what
I.
Tuesday was referencing. Like he's
Okay.
gonna make sure to reiterate that in the Discord.
Cool.
So Dan, you think these two tasks to replace tasks 4 and 5?
Yeah, I think that should do it. I tried to format it like it looks on the website so it can just be copy pasted, but if somebody wants to clean up the copy, that's fine too.
Do you want me to do what?
I was just saying
Nothing
I
at this
formatted
point.
it like it looks on the website, I think, but you know, if you guys want to clean it up a little to make it fit for the website copy, that's cool too.
So do
That
you do that on the? Is it on the wiki?
well,
These, no, I mean, this is the only place I have this text. I know that the objectives are like listed on the alpha test website under like the quick start guide or where all the testnet info lives. So I figured this would need to be changed there and maybe communicated through the Discord as well.
so this
Okay, so I
one,
need,
just a second, Rick. So this one, set a custom name for your card. If we set this as a task, will we know that they did this task, or will we not?
Yeah, same as any other. I mean, there will be logs that are generated by anyone who has their telemetry key configured, and we'll be able to see that this command was executed on their cards on the back end.
Okay. And then the redeem 3 phonon assets from different origin chains. Select and successfully redeem phonons from 3 different networks. So, for example, Linktr.ee, ETH, Koban, and Polygon Mobile. Keep in mind the phonon must be large in denomination to pay for the gas fee upon redemption, or the operation will fail. So is this? So this basically you put the. Can you explain this a little bit? I'm not sure I followed this.
Yeah, that one can maybe be worded a little more clearly. Basically, the task would just be to redeem 3 phonons from 3 different origin blockchain networks.
do you want those as add-on tasks or just do you want to replace anything?
Yeah, I wanted to replace the mining tasks, right? Because the last 2 tasks are like mine a native phonon and send a native phonon, and since we can't release that feature, those tasks are going to be pretty much
Okay, so
impossible.
if you want to just copy and paste it over to me, I'll try to format it as just I did the initial document and send it over to you. Or we could do it just like you have it up there. It's your call.
Yeah, I mean, you can format it. I mean, don't send it to me though. I mean, I'm not send it to whoever's updating the website.
So
Yeah,
the second, Rick,
let's rush.
for the redeem 3 phonon. So basically you crystallize a phonon, right? You put it into a phonon Linktr.ee ETH, and then you say put it back on Linktr.ee ETH, basically.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I just want to
Are we,
clarify for my. So
did we
so
settle and crystallize?
what'd you
I
say?
kind of like the term crystallize, but yeah, usually I call it deposit and routine.
Okay.
Okay.
So if everybody else is in agreement with these 2 being replaced with number 4 and 5, like Tuesdays, I'd like to get your input on that, and everybody else.
Yeah, that works for me.
Do we have a term for decrystallizing?
No, that's a little bit further.
Absolutely.
Shatter?
Shatter.
Shatter.
All right.
That's a good one.
Hey, yeah,
Oh, that's
not
a
bad.
good. Can we do shatter with an X?
I don't want to rehash this. Jesus.
Okay,
That's the
so
beautiful thing. You don't have to rehash anything with me. I'm just telling you how it is.
Oh my god, these 2 really.
I put in the notes.
Come on, take it.
go ahead, Super.
I was just saying I put it in the notes as deposit/redeem, aka crystallize/shatter.
For these tasks to update it, I would say in your notes, Super, let's put a dework task to have Rush update the website and then one for rake for the phonon docs as well.
Okay. Can we actually run that through someone who's part of the product testnet group?
Yeah,
Who's a
I
VP?
I can get the format and then pass it over to Rush within the correct format, or Nate, because he was about to say talk to over.
Just so I can write it down. Who's from the product team you want to take charge of that?
Product team, if I'm not mistaken, the head of product team is Tuesdays.
I'm ahead of testnet.
Get to testnet. Okay, I'm not. Tuesdays, are you cool making the tasks?
Sure.
Okay.
Cool. Now I'll let Tuesdays and Rush go through this. Open testnet ticket items. I don't know if these are prioritized or not, so Dan knows which ones to work on first, or is Dan prioritizing them? But I'll let you guys talk about that.
I think these are the same issues from last week. They're listed here, right?
I did not make any adjustments to the ones from last week.
Yeah, so I think we covered all of these in this list last week. We did triage the new bugs from this past week. We can go over that list if you think that would be good. Let me just go dig out of my notes.
It's been kind of hard to track the testnet bugs channel. It's kind of turned into a lot of comments versus just simply a list of bugs.
Yeah, we talked about that earlier. I'm gonna try to post more often in there of correcting people on the structure and stuff.
Or
It might be easier if you just like pin it, like the format.
Yeah, it could be pinned. That could be cool.
I dropped in the product channel earlier about a way to communicate with testnet participants, like what we already know. I think we're starting to see a lot of repetition as far as, like for instance, like Robston showing up on the send window. Like we don't need to hear that over and over. I don't know if there's a way that we,
I know what
post this list or.
I understand what you're saying. Dan did share like the common bugs last week, and for some reason I think I might have given him either the wrong Google Drive or something. But I did screenshot this. Maybe we could pin this up too. If you open up the voice text right now, there's like a.
Oh yeah, so this is our Google Doc. We can share this somehow, presumably. That's what I was about to share with y'all. I can drop the link, but I think it's going to be inaccessible outside of Grid Plus. But I could probably share it individually with someone if they want to link it, or if we just want to like maybe someone wants to take this and turn it into an announcement or something for like what all the known issues are. But yeah, let me share this right now. We can go through the existing bugs, and I can figure out how to share this after the meeting.
That might be a good flow where if somebody's asking, say, hey, go take a look. It's not on there. Head over to the bug channel, use the format, post a new one. And then I guess the testnet group will have to just keep that your doc updated or our own version of it.
Yeah, it probably just needs to be like, curated as we take bugs off the list as they're fixed or become irrelevant or whatever. But yeah, let me share my screen and go over what we looked at this past week. All right, you guys can see this doc?
Yep.
All right, so yeah, not all of these were perfectly formatted issues, but some of them we got the gist of what people were reporting, so we tried to keep those in as accurately as you could. So yeah, loading native phonon appears after canceling the create transaction. This was somebody like canceling the MetaMask transaction with like a 0 gas fee and then trying to, recreate the transaction, it created some kind of weird state for that phone on. We're not going to fix this at the moment because we're going to redesign how the deposit API works, and we'll just take this feedback into account when we do that. Make sure these kind of weird little issues can't reoccur. We got the UI doesn't correctly list the majority of loaded phone-ons, redeemed phone-on displays error. We created an issue out of this one. We've had a few reports of like the UI inconsistently displaying the phone-ons on the card. Suspect there's some kind of caching or display issue. So that one's issue number 56 in the phone-on app repo. Stuck phone-ons. I don't exactly remember the context of this issue. But I guess there were some phone-ons that were like not able to be redeemed or sent or something. Basically, we putting some fixes in. I think we merged them in yesterday to a new release. That would have been the native mining release, but we basically put the mining features behind a feature flag where they're disabled, but there were some other improvements to like error handling and logging and the UI, clarity of the display and stuff that all went in. So we hopeful that will fix this issue. I think maybe this one was reported. The one was reported by Rush. So if someone wants to retry this, let us know if it reoccurs. That would be helpful.
Which one is that?
I just wrote it down as stuck phone-ons. I think this was about
That's what I called it. It's a front end thing. I think last call, Nate had me go through some command lines, and we were able to send it. Or send it, yeah, or redeem it. But when you're using the UI, it you get a 500 error on
Gotcha.
trying to send them.
What's up, Katie?
Yeah. So we think that might be fixed. Our new front end dev Anthony has been working on some general stability and like error handling improvements, so that hopefully we'll fix it. Those went in yesterday. He's out again for like another wedding he's got to go to this weekend, but y'all will probably meet him next week.
Sounds good, man. Yeah, I think somebody was talking about in similar issue with the Matic testnet, like they just unable to get them off their card. It sounded like the same.
Yeah, there have been a few issues, yeah, with like just inconsistent availability or display of phone-ons, and hopefully those will be fixed with this UI issue. If not, we'll account for that as we build the beta stuff. Next issue, Robson hard-coded. I think we all know about that one. Hopefully that's taken care of by those fixes on the release yesterday. I think that should be fixed now. Phone-ons on card are sometimes visible. Yeah, similar as the above issue. We couldn't diagnose this one. We didn't have any logs or timestamps or address for this user. So I assume it's similar to the above issues. It'll just be one we'll have to keep an eye on. Installed on Windows 10 displays a blank page. I think we deduced from the conversation going around this one that it was probably because they didn't have MetaMask installed in their browser. It is an issue that displays a blank screen instead of just like a functional app that doesn't connect to MetaMask. So we created an issue for that to make that behavior a bit more graceful when MetaMask is not installed. And I think that covers all the bugs. I'll take it as an item after this to get this shared in a format that the DAO can use to post the known issues somewhere. Does that work? Just sharing this doc with y'all.
Would you be opposed to sending me that link for the notes?
Nope, I just dropped the link in the voice chat on the side. No one has access to it yet, but I will invite. I don't know. I'll figure out how to open up access in a minute.
So it sounds like there's several of these that are fixed or should be fixed. How do you guys handle it? Like, it sounds like, Rush, you have a good handle of which ones they are. Can you replicate most of these and say, hey, they're good from your standpoint, or
just do some like QA?
Right, just so we can say these were broken, these are now fixed, and then we can tell everybody in the testnet group, hey, these are fixed, retest them. And before we do that, have you run through them first, just so we're not wasting everybody's time.
I will, for those that I know how to do. Loading native phonons, like the first one, I'm not sure, but that one I guess was postponed. Um, yeah, I'll try, or we can like reach out to whoever posted it first and ask them if they can try to recreate it. But yeah, once is the new release out there, or is it still waiting for deployment?
It's out there as of yesterday, I believe.
Okay.
Got it in late yesterday. Is that right, Nate?
The newest
Merge.
release was late last night.
Yeah, let's make an announcement on that for the Discord as
Yeah,
well. So
we were hoping this would include all the native mining stuff, but basically that's disabled, and this is mostly just UI and stability improvements.
So how many open issues are there, and how many open issues do you think are fixed?
That's an interesting question.
Yeah, it's not exactly something I'm tracking. I guess for the majority of these issues, they're not like something we're immediately working on fixing. They're something that is feedback that we're gonna take on as we redesign some larger subsystem. So like anything we created an issue for, those are like I guess the ones that we're gonna actively work on in the near future. So I did take notes down on the specific issue numbers. Like everything else, it's more of just like either something that's not worth fixing at all, or something we can't understand the issue, or something that we're going to incorporate into the future roadmap.
Okay.
So I guess you could consider anything with an open issue here to be like with an open issue in the repos to be actively planned to work on.
Yeah, I'm just thinking maybe like and Rush, I don't know what you think, but maybe like if we had these in some type of spreadsheet where we could say, hey, this is an enhancement, we're not going to tackle it. This one's open, ready to be
We
QA tested, and then this one's open and being worked, and this one's
we have a
closed.
database that handles all of that on GitHub. It's the issues and pull requests dialog. If the triage people just create an issue on GitHub, we can tag it with the relevant things, and then you can follow along as we do our pull requests and get them merged in and everything. I don't like having to track this in 3 different places because we're doing it in the Discord, in these documents, and then in the GitHub. When all I actually pay attention to is the GitHub, and then I occasionally peruse the Discord.
Yeah. Dan and Nate will find out here soon, but there is actually a new issue template PR open right now that could help with that. So
Yeah, I just wanted to like keep some of the not relevant issues out of the GitHub. I mean, we've been filtering like this list down into like the things that can actually be worked on as issues. So yeah, I don't know. We can summarize what the actual like issues that come out of this each week are, if that would be something worth tracking for the DAO. But I think the main purpose is just to get work funneled back to the dev team to know what needs to be worked on and what feedback needs to come in. So I think that's all taken care of on our end.
So Dan, is your document there? It's not a mirrored image of GitHub?
No, this is like I would consider this like the top of the funnel, and we're kind of filtering it down into like what are the relevant issues that belong on the GitHub.
Okay, like the actual.
Yeah, in this doc, I'm pretty much trying to address like every comment that's been made in the testnet bugs channel. Not all of them are like addressable, actually, because either we don't have enough information or because it's some general or an issue that we can't reproduce. Or so I'm not putting them all in GitHub because I don't want like a bunch of non-actionable information in our GitHub.
Totally.
But
this is the catch-all. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, if anything new comes up, we could funnel it to you, or just is that?
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like what the ask is that people want to be able to like just display the known issues for the testnet users and to track what is being worked on. Is that pretty much?
Yeah, it could be
right?
helpful to say like we know these things. Take a look if you're experiencing them. Like these are all, currently in the hopper for the dev
Mhm.
team to work on. I mean, it's not paramount. It's just trying to be communicative with testnet users. If they ask a question or inquire about a bug, that's the point. We don't want to be kind of a silent DAO as far as communicating back to all the testers. Uh, so we're just trying to figure out if we could just post this someplace or have it. We can mention GitHub issues. I think that'd be
Or a
helpful.
bug reporting tool.
Something I would mention, and I'm not super active in product, but there aren't any pinned messages that share any of these links. So if I wanted to try and test them, I'd have to go through someone else. Is there like any ways for people to easily find a list of these bugs and start testing them out?
I'd say that's what we're currently resolving.
Cool.
So we need like a known issues list, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, this document probably includes more information than you would want in known issues. It kind of has to be summarized into what is actually still a known issue.
I mean, I could just copy. I don't know. Instead of, I could replace certain sections on the web page, and like because it's text, it's fairly simple. It's almost like editing a document where we could have known lists. I mean, it's kind of then incumbent on me to keep that updated, but it would at least be a simple way to direct people. Hey, here's the list of things we know about. If you have anything new, add it in Discord, and then we could update status on the website for fixes. But really, we don't need to because if it's fixed, it's never going to come up again. So maybe we'll take this back to maybe comms and product and figure out the best way.
Yeah, let me know where you guys want to post it. I'm fine if it's on the website or on the Discord channel or wherever you want to do it. Maybe, I don't know, after this meeting, we can just talk over this doc in a little more detail and I can identify the known issues. We can write those up.
Cool. But I agree with Nate. Like we don't need a fourth and a fifth version of this to keep updated. So
I would like to actually propose a new workflow for this. Someone posted in the channel. Someone from the DAO talks to them for a second, and then once they figure out that it's not the person who's posting in the channel doing something that is kind of dumb or whatever, ping me, like Nate personally, not like some member of the Grid Plus team, but me, and then I will decide to either create an issue or not. We link the issue back to the chat so that the person who's having the issue sees it, and then that is how we track it. That's my new proposed workflow.
I have no issue with that. I just think you're gonna get bombarded by a bunch of stuff. I'm looking into just.
I already read all the messages that come in there. It's just I don't interact.
So you're gonna need somebody like Rush or Tuesdays or somebody that's in the testnet general to triage these and say, hey, yeah, you reported it. A, this has already been reported. We know about it. B, this is a new bug, and then they're going to reach out to you, and then you're going to link it back.
I just want one set of eyes on it before it comes to me because I can't respond to every single message, or I'll never get any actual work done. But one set of eyes, make sure it's legit, at least a little bit, and then I'll take a look, and then create the issue, and then we go from there.
So we could, I mean, I think it would be kind of the testnet group, uses knives and those involved, where if it's something new, we'd ping you. If it's something that we've seen before that's already on the list, there's no need. And
Exactly.
Tuesdays, are you here? Yeah. What thoughts on that?
Sounds good. Yeah.
All right, cool.
I can help you with the entire if you need someone else to also be on top of that because I also read everything. But
And so Dan, you're going to create a list of known bugs, and then any open issues that are going to be linked in to GitHub. And then I would say for these meetings going forward, we'd need that. We'll just have that list on the agenda, and maybe a list linked to the GitHub bugs as well, so we know. So we're all on the same page of what's open.
Yeah, sure. I'll summarize the known issues from the stock, and I'll figure out how to get the stock shared with the DAO, and then yeah, I'll just create a list of like the open issues and their status. We can work off of that summary for future.
Can we just work off your doc that you already have, so we're not recreating it?
Yeah. I'll just figure out how to share this with the DAO after this meeting.
Yeah, maybe just open it up to commenting only, so that you still have master editing, but we can.
Yeah, I think it might be a pain because it's part of the Grid Plus org, and there's some access controls. I might have to recreate it, but yeah, I'll do something like that.
Okay. Any other comments on the open testnet items before we move on?
Telemetry key being displayed.
That's in as of last night. Is that right, Nate? We lose Nate.
Tuesday brought it up. Tuesday.
Yes,
asking
and it's in last night. As of last night.
So has it already gone through the build, or do we have to wait for that
Already,
to still build?
It's good.
And I don't think it's actually in the channel, but Windows client does not go through the telemetry key setup, only Mac.
Believe that fix was in there too, right?
I believe that fix was put in there when I was working on it with JT last week.
Okay. I will run through it again.
Is that where, when you launch the client the first time, if you don't put if the telemetry key is not there, it'll prompt you to put it in?
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I want.
Yep, it's there. I just got my kit 2 days ago, and I was able to do that yesterday on Windows 11.
Solid. Thank you.
Great.
Do you? So in the instructions, I don't want to get too far off course, but it also says to go through that process of creating a folder and then loading the telemetry key in there. Do you have to do both of those items, or just
that window does that?
So in our
hopefully
instructions,
just replaces all of that.
Right. So in our instructions, we should probably update that for the Windows.
Hey, Tuesdays, can you drop an announcement in the channel that there's a new release out?
Yep.
If we're going to be announcing for every new release, that's going to be a lot. I'd recommend setting up a bot. Actually, I wonder if there's a webhook API and I can just have that trigger at the end of CI.
Release.
I shouldn't be doing that, but this seems interesting, and I think I'm going to do that.
It's not a bad thing to have. We can always change the target for where the release notes go. But yeah, as long as it includes some release notes with what's in it, I think that would be cool to do it automatically. And we can just put the release notes in the commit message when we merge. Probably be pretty slick.
So Nate, that's something you're going to do?
No, I'm not. I'm not good. No. This would be a massive waste of my time. I would never admit to doing it. But if it shows up, then it means I will have done it.
And by done it, you mean got someone else to do it?
No, by done it, I mean I will have I will have ignored my other responsibilities to do something that is objectively not necessary and kind of a waste of time. But I'm going to pretend like it's the biggest thing in the universe.
Do we want to assign it to someone else, or
no? This
do
is very low priority. There are infinitely more things that are higher priority.
Okay.
Okay.
Dude, help me out here. What do you want then? Because I got lost within the whole. Yeah, no.
No. What's happening is
I know what's happening, but do you want me to go
no.
through the? Okay.
Don't worry about it.
Okay. Thanks.
So Nate is going to do it.
No, not officially.
In the notes, I have Nate will look at potentially adding.
All right.
Fine.
We got to get Nate into D work. Start assigning him tasks.
He is there.
All right. Any other dev team updates for the past week outside of testnet items?
Well, I think we covered like what we released this week. I guess I can let you guys know that we also started working on specking out the beta roadmap. So the next phase of the project, some of the bigger improvements to how phone-on transfers work, and transfer replayability and replay attack prevention, and important stuff. So we've been working on that this week. We're gonna be working on that in parallel with triaging the testnet issues. I guess I'd
What
like
do
to
you
share
need?
that stuff as we go.
What do you need help with? Like, what's like, where do you need help with the most? Or
Yeah, it's a really good question. I think just I don't know, designing some of these bigger features and how they're going to work together. I guess we pretty much got that handled on the Grid Plus Core side for the secure transfer stuff. What might be interesting for the DAO to start fleshing out in more detail is like the design for like the multi-manufacturer CA system, and how card issuance will work through the DAO. I think it would be pretty helpful from the DAO side to have some design thought put into the design of like how multiple manufacturers will work, and what that like token relationship is with issuing new certs and cards, and potentially revoking certs, or if there's going to be like a bond or something. Yeah, I mean, if the DAO wants to work on fleshing that out, it would be helpful to know what the I guess economic side of it looks like to inform the technical implementation, because we're going to have to make some pretty big changes to the certificate system to move from there being like one valid issuer to there being potentially multiple.
right?
So yeah, I mean, my thought, we're with beta is we're moving into kind of developing more full-blown specs and designs for the features before we build them. So I'd like to start sharing that stuff more widely with the product team and the DAO, so that we're all kind of on the same page, and we can get more contributors helping out the core team as we move forwards. But yeah, we'll probably keep producing specs about the major feature areas we're going to be working on, and sharing those with the DAO, and then we can ideally start to work together to try to parcel out those tasks to some of the devs in the community who want to contribute.
Dan, do you see that as part of like this meeting, or do you guys want to set up a separate meeting to start talking about beta and the next steps in the card issuance?
Yeah, I think we should probably have some separate like beta centric meetings. I'm going to be out for the next 2 weeks on vacation, so maybe after that we'll be kind of reaching towards the close of the testnet. So maybe that'd be a good time to start kicking off those efforts and getting some organization around how we coordinate with a bit of a wider team for the beta.
Okay. Mickey, I don't know if you can talk, but I think that'd be something we start building
It's
towards.
Mickey's birthday, by the way.
Happy birthday!
Yeah, thanks.
Hey,
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Appreciate it.
Happy birthday, Mick.
I setting that up, like just post, kind of doing a debrief on the testnet, and then that debrief should tee up our discussion on the beta that make the most sense.
Okay. So we're looking at the end of September, early October. We'll start down that path.
Yeah, and then I think another, like setting up the conversations around the card manufacturing, the certification is like a whole other thing, and for that we might need some particular expertise on the manufacturing side to really have a intelligent like framework for how to do that.
So you're saying like two separate calls, one for the
Yeah,
cards
yeah,
and one for the
yeah,
beta items. Okay.
yeah, yeah. Like one is sort of internal and the other is externally facing.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, the development for the what has to change in the card to support the manufacturer stuff, I guess I'd consider part of our beta roadmap. But yeah, there's definitely some more externally facing side of that to do too. But yeah, I guess when we kick off the beta, I think we can kind of talk about the major areas of work that we're planning on and start trying to figure out how we can work together with the wider dev community to build those things.
So testnet runs until what is it, Rick? The 6th of October or 1st of October?
Second,
Go
The
first.
first or second.
So how about I can set up the beta kickoff meeting like the first week of October, and we'll, if that works for everybody, and then we'll just discuss it. And if we have to break it into two separate meetings, one with the cards and everything else, then we can at that point.
If Dan's okay with it, and if he's back from his vacation, I'd say set it up 1 week before so that we can start. I'm gonna start looking into this regardless, but set it up 1 week before so that we can just like plan and people know what the meeting is about. And, like we can actually act on the meeting instead of just like talk.
Yeah, that's fine with me. I don't think there's really any necessity to wait until after the test net, except for like capacity for you guys, because we're going to be working on the beta development in parallel anyway. We've already gotten it kicked off internally.
Okay, so you don't come back until the week of the 19th.
That's right. Yeah, I'm back the week of the 19th.
So how about you give us a day that works for you, and then a day and time that week, and we'll go from there.
Okay. Yeah, we can discuss that week if you guys are fine with that. Maybe Wednesday, something like that would be fine.
Wednesday.
But yeah, just and whatever time everyone can make.
Okay, I'll just set something up for that time, and then I'll pick a time on Wednesday, and then we'll go from there.
Okay, sounds good.
Thank you.
Next item on the list: update on collecting user suggested features, adding in future versions. I think this is suggested features versus bugs.
Yeah, that was me just realizing that people were suggesting things. It's just suggestions. Obviously, core functionality is going to precede these as far as priority, but just place
it's
to correct.
still
You know what I mean? Like part of
still
QA.
helpful. So yeah, if you want to keep updating this, it's still helpful for us.
Okay.
Keep checking in with it.
Yeah, I've seen a couple repeat comments. Like somebody also suggested transaction history. So if you hear it enough, it might be something that if it's user focused, it might be something to consider in the future. I think I'm going to tie this into the workflow for bugs, as far as if people have new suggestions that we can direct them here to see what exists, but also maybe open up for comments to add new ones.
Yeah, that's what I was just thinking. That it should go hand in hand with the other one somehow.
Yeah, we'll come on. We can sidebar it and figure out how to spread the word that it's out there and
yeah, wherever the bug list is, this would be like right next to it and say, this is not a bug list, this is a feature request, and then it may or may not be tackled.
Can we use that forum thing that we were playing around with for like most of this?
I have no idea what that is.
Wait, remember that forum issue that forum feature we were playing around with on Discord. It kind of looked like a Twitter
Oh.
feed.
Yeah.
Maybe we could just like pin both the bug list that Dan's comfortable with sharing, and also have like these are the bugs that have been reported. So like, just don't keep repeating them. Like we know about them, and this is just an idea.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a bad idea. It's just I don't know how much like time people are going to spend reading through everything before they just complain that something's not working. So I mean, I get it, but it would still probably need a lot of management.
What if we just made a large post of known bugs, like a shortened version, and then just posted it every couple days in the bugs, and then when somebody has a similar thing or a new bug, just link to that comment.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not the cleanest thing, but at least for Discord, that might be an option, something to think about.
So one thing I can add, and this is if we decide it's worth using, DWork does have a suggestions page where you can upvote suggestions, and that could potentially be something we could use on the product suggestions if that makes sense.
Yeah, that's interesting. Another
And
tool, but possibly
because it'll auto organize by upvotes and you can see all the suggestions there. It may be a way to keep it from a managed document like the bugs, because they are at the end of the day suggestions. And if people like it, they can upvote it to the top.
The only document we need is the GitHub issues page. There's a like mechanism on that as well.
Sweet.
But Nate, do you want suggestions like feature suggestions added to GitHub?
Yes. Not by the masses, but
Yeah.
you see something come in, hit me up if it sounds interesting, and then I'll add it. Easy peasy. And then we'll triage it internally, figure out what priority, who's going to work on it, all that good stuff, all through GitHub.
And just to make sure this is the same system of someone posts in the DAO, someone talks to the person to see if it's a real bug or suggestion, ping Nate so it can be documented and added, correct?
Yeah. Someone from the DAO just uses their best judgment and then bothers me about it, and that's cool. And then I take care of it from there. Or Grid Plus takes care of it from there, but ping me.
Yes, sir.
So,
Ping Nate.
so I like the idea of users voting on, right? So let's say we have 30 people that are testing, and all 30 of them said, hey, yeah, this is a feature request, and should be something that we should prioritize, right? So I understand from your guys' standpoint, like let's triage it, but having a like a not a client facing, but a user facing one where they could vote on it, and then that helps us say which features we should push.
What if we create another channel within the testnet thing and use a polls bot?
Yeah, I was going to say that.
That sounds very overdone for the amount of users we're getting. We're not having hundreds of people doing this stuff and all actively contributing. We have like 20 people who've said something in those channels. I think we can tell at this point what people are really asking for and what people aren't. There's premature optimization. No, thank you.
So I'm hearing keep it simple, stupid.
I wouldn't call my fellow DAO members stupid, but yes, that's exactly what I'm saying.
Sure.
So ping Nate.
Ping Nate. Use your better judgment. I might get mad at you if you give me dumb stuff too many times in a row, but I don't think that's going to happen because I respect my fellow DAO members.
That's supposed to go up there with like the lie of the year.
This is the truth of the year. I'm speaking from a position of absolute truth.
Can we see that robe again?
No.
Right.
Anyway,
Okay. So
Thanks, Dave.
anything else on this rush? Are you good with that process?
Good. I'm good with it. Yeah.
Rush, I think you missed the initial part of the meeting where we're gonna have to update some of the tasks. Dan's gonna send them over. I'll format them, and you just have to copy and paste.
Yeah,
Or
I
if you
caught
want
like
to
the
format.
second half of that and didn't quite understand it, but I figured Super's taking notes and
Yeah,
Clamato, you.
some of the tasks have to be. No, we decided that we're gonna update them. How we want to go about that is kind of like either I can interface and just format it like I did the other ones, or you could talk to Dan directly and grab the text from him and just copy and paste it.
Yeah, either way, man. Whatever.
Because
Make
has
sure
to be
you and I
updated
like.
on the website. It has to be updated on the website, and you're the only person that has uh, current access to the website to edit it.
And then you're going to update your doc with the
Right,
same, right? So it's just two
right, right,
places, which is straightforward. Uh,
right.
Let me check. I know Super's notes had some. It just
So
isn't really products. So like let's sidebar this and I'll get up to speed after the call or later and get the website finished.
It says Rake will update. We'll be formatting the new tasks. Apparently, Rake will format the new task, and Rake will send them over to you.
Perfect.
yeah, and by the way, if anyone has any questions about DWork, always feel free to reach out to me. The goal is that the VPs will be creating the tasks most of the time, and the lead is
Did
just there to manage the space. So they are not
like
necessarily intended to create the tasks all the time. And then the working group roles are just people there to accept tasks, not to, they don't have permissions for anything else.
Okay. Next item on the list is the shipping update. Get an update from you, Dan. How many have sold? Any others shipped this week?
Yeah, that's pretty much accurate right there. Sold about 7 past week. It looks like. Looks like there's like maybe 2 or maybe 1 more, 2 more today. So I'll probably fulfill those 2 before I ship them out later this afternoon. Yeah, and there's like roughly 70 left, maybe a little bit less than that now.
dude, I've been cold calling
Yeah.
people. I've been cold calling people just like, but instead of cold calling, just like writing Twitter DMs and stuff, or wherever I find them. Do
I
you
can
have
tell you I
any
have
ideas?
three people that are seriously interested if they've not already bought it.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Yeah. Well, I'm probably going to do 1 more fulfillment run, like in a couple of hours later this afternoon. And then, yeah, I'm on vacation for the next 2 weeks, and all of the inventory is here at my place, so won't be able to fulfill it until I get back. So, yeah, my thought was, maybe we can try to make a push to sell the remaining inventory before then. And I think we're going to put up a banner, a notification on the Grid Plus store that fulfillment will be delayed by a couple weeks at this point. But yeah, I mean, if Dan wants to push on selling those remaining kits or identifying some promotional orders we can give away, letting me know about those, I think that would be good.
That wants to push.
When are
Yeah.
you? When is the deadline for ship? Like when are you going to be taking off?
Let's
Today.
call it 3 o'clock Central today in 2 hours. Got to get to
And
the
you'll be
post
gone
office
for
before they close.
2
And
weeks
I'll
or
be
so.
gone for 2 weeks. Yeah. And they'll be back on the 19th, Monday.
So I'm just thinking this through. So if orders come in while you're gone, they won't get shipped until the 19th. 5
Right.
days. We'll give it the 24th, and then that gives people roughly a week before
Right.
we shut down. So maybe we want to, I don't know, extend it. If we get a lot of new orders while you're gone, we can extend it for those new kits or something.
Yeah, it's a little tight. I think if we are going to accept orders up until then and try to do like one final batch of shipping. Yeah, extending it probably makes sense. I don't know if anyone will be upset about that. I know it requires some more work from you guys for a couple weeks to do support, but we'll provide more opportunity to get these last few kits into people's hands. So it's up to y'all. Otherwise we probably won't have another chance to sell kits.
Just to confirm, there's no one else who can ship these out.
No, there's
Okay.
not.
They have to get tested by Nate, by Dan, and flashed by Dan.
Something else I did want to ask, just as an action item, is communications, or are there any kind of pushes that we want to plan as a DAO to try and get these test kits out?
I've started a little program. It didn't actually work. My whole idea was to just get more people involved and get these kids out there. But since we
I think
have Dan,
we really need a word of mouth. It's really about who, like quantity and quality here could bifurcate here. So I think it's really about getting like hacker type people their hands on the kit. And I think the best way is for all of us to do word of mouth. Like I think all of us have been messaging people, but maybe step it up a bit and really try to push and just say, we're running out of kits and I really want you to get your hands on them. By the way, you get paid to do it. And if you break anything, we also pay you. I think it's like a word of mouth individual thing to make sure we're getting this test kit in the right hands. And I would just, maybe this is an internal messaging as well, just have everybody message people they know, with a technical background to help these kits and try to break something.
I guess my question should be, is there anything we want to do as a DAO to try and push this out? Any kind of Twitter raids or anything like that? Just
whoever who is a hacker, like if there's one thing that motivates a hacker is the word impossible. So if you ever come across anyone who's computer savvy enough to think he's a hacker, tell him I stress this the fuck out of this. It's impossible, but there's rewards up for grabs.
Yep.
Just send them the link.
Yeah, I can tell you I've contacted everyone individually that I'm aware of that would be interested.
Could we put it out on DWorks public bounty dashboard? I know you have to buy something, but because there's some cream on top. Like, what if that was the actual bounty?
You actually have permissions to do so you could do that.
Yep.
And
okay. I don't know if it falls in the terms of service with DWork because it's not a true bounty, because you have to, you have to purchase something. So
you can do a contest and anyone can submit to it.
On DWork?
Yep. And you don't have to fulfill it. If you say no one met the requirements of the contest, you just end it. But yeah, you guys can do that in the product working group, whoever's the VPs and lead.
We only have 40 or so kits left, and I think they're really valuable items. And yeah, I love the idea of doing that. Maybe we can do something in Gitcoin as well.
It sounds like we have a bunch of options here. Mickey, maybe something we can talk about on Tuesday or later this week. We'll come up with ideas on this.
Well, I just want to confirm we have no plans to go in front of anyone on a podcast or a Twitter space or anything like that to get the word out as a DAO. It's just individual based.
We just need a podcast that we can go in front of it and talk. We don't have any plans. We just need somewhere to go.
We submitted to upwards of 70 podcasts, and there's a huge pay to play element here. So it's like, do we want to spend the money to get on these podcasts and to sell the kits? And then I think my point of view is no, because it's a small number of kits, and we do want a really particular sort of hand-selected population to use the kits.
Sounds like it would make more sense to give them away.
Yeah, I don't want to get sidetracked. I just really do think that if this is a priority, we should have an actionable item. And right now I have we're going to personally talk to people in the notes.
I think this should be priority 1 for the comms call next week. This is drifting away from product.
from
Sure.
But I think we have a lot of ideas. I think we should come together, strategize, and then execute because
But don't forget that Dana is like, we're going to delay shipping 2 weeks, so you
yeah.
give it some thought. And I will continue to, I'll get back to the cold calling about it.
Yeah, Rush, I agree that we were gonna sidebar the comms call because we have a couple other meetings on that same day,
Oh, sure.
Tuesday. So maybe we'll make a comms on Wednesday or whatever time works for Mickey, and we'll split it.
Yeah,
Up.
we can even do Monday, or we can even talk async if you guys want to just talk in the chat.
Yep.
Why don't we just, right now, just think of a few ideas. I mean, basically, there's, we're 8 of us. So it's not that many test kits we need to get in the right hands. Be free.
There's only like 20 people.
Okay.
15.
The last item on the list here is the review the Medium article. Dan, I know you and Justin said you guys were going to review it. I don't know if you had a chance to. And a lot of it goes into a lot of detail about what we're going to call this stuff when we crystallize assets or uncrystallize or shatter.
Love the shatter.
I like
I
the
love
crystallized
the shatter.
shatter personally. I've
I
come to
love
like
the
it.
shatter.
Yeah.
I hate it.
Honest,
I'm on team hate.
Yeah, it kind of feels like you're destroying something with shatter.
You're destroying the
you can
private key.
shatter you can
Well,
shatter
you're
from
not
any
really.
service.
Yeah.
You're just extracting it. Not really destroyed. Destroying it would be bad.
Injecting, extracting.
Shroud and dissolve.
Yeah, so we have it on there as far as like when it goes back and it was like you're destroying the phonon. Like, do we really want to call that destroying the phonon? So back to the
Yeah.
original question: Did you and Justin get a chance to review this?
No, I have not, but I have it on my to-do list, and I will try to give it a review today.
Okay. I would say, yeah, if you could review it and provide any feedback on the document and or to Justin, and then maybe we'll try to meet up with Justin next week with his comments as well and yours and the marketing team, and we'll hash this out, finalize it.
Okay, yeah, sounds good. Thanks for putting this together.
This is all I had for on the agenda. Anybody have anything else before we stop the product side of it?
Nothing else for me. I guess I think everybody already gets the idea. But while I'm out for a couple weeks, anything you would reach out to me about, Nate will be present to back me up while I'm out.
Yeah, enjoy the vacation, man. Have a great time.
Thanks, dude.
Cool.
Yeah, pretty excited.
All right.